If you're new to Estate Assist and you're wondering where to begin, first we would suggest that you watch all the videos on our YouTube channel. There are some very helpful videos that walk you through some step-by-step procedures for using the different aspects of the app and what some of the most important things are in terms of entering data. But as just a quick how to get started video, of course you'll begin with a screen that doesn't have any open cases on it, and you'll go ahead and create a new matter. And we suggest that you name this matter just the way you would regularly list a name. Estate Assist will recognize the last name and alphabetize your matter dashboard and the subsections of it, if you use subsections, in alphabetical order by last name. So you don't need to reverse order them or anything like that. It recognizes that the last name is the last name and it alphabetizes them accordingly. So enter just the matter name, whatever the name of the decedent is. Select an attorney. And of course, right now, Estate Assist is offering probate estate administration. But again, a reminder, we'll be having all Ohio probate disciplines here in the coming months this year. And you can decide if you want multiple people listed. So do you want all the support staff or just the person creating this and the attorney of record to have access to the case? And go ahead and create it. You'll be taken back to our dashboard, and in your intake section, you've now got the case that you just created. And so you can open it. And of course, our case header section doesn't have any data because we haven't given it any details yet. From here, we would suggest you start with case details. Go in and enter everything, just question and answers on down through this page related to the court, the decedent, the fiduciaries, the bond, the surviving spouse, if any, and the appraiser, if you'll be using an appraiser. Now, a couple pieces of information on this page you will not have yet in all likelihood. So, for example, the date of admission to probate and the date of the fiduciary's appointment. Those are pieces of information that will come later on, but they're very important. So for anything that you don't have, you can leave it incomplete when you save this screen. But as you get that information, you should come back in and update this page to make sure that it's up to date with the most information you have available. After you've entered your case details, we'd suggest you go to the interested persons and go ahead and just start entering all of the interested persons involved in the estate administration. Name, contact information, and relationship to the decedent. If they're a minor, you'll enter their date of birth. If they're not a minor, that's optional. We do have sections for trusteeship if the interested person is a trustee of a trust that's inheriting, and we can select that this person is deceased and then later list contingent beneficiaries that are taking in the deceased person's place. Once we've entered all of our interested persons, and again, if you don't have any information, if there's something missing, you can always go back in and add it later on. You can save what you do have and update it later. Next, of course, we would point you to entering in any receipts. You can start entering asset information, entering the description and value of the asset, the type of property that it is, the intended disposition, and this isn't anything that has to be permanent. You can select what you think is going to happen and then always change it in the future. But the intended disposition is going to decide where that asset falls in things like the 9s and 10s for sale and in-kind distribution of assets. And then eventually you'll come back in, you'll save this, but you'll come back in to put any final disposition. So when something's sold or otherwise liquidated or deposited, the deposit of the receipt or the proceeds from the receipt into the estate account, transfer in kind, and any notes. And of course, if it's real property, you can always add in the real property description and decide how you want that to show up on documents so that that will populate your documents as well. If you start with those things, you'll be up and running and your estate will start to come together. And then, of course, as you make disbursements from the estate, whether it's payments from the estate account or in-kind distributions or inheritance, then you'll go ahead and enter those things. And anytime you need to, of course, you can go to your pleadings page and see how much of a document is or is not complete yet. You'll find that many of the initial documents, the 1s through 4s, will be largely ready to go once you've completed your case details and your interested persons. You fill out those and you're going to be up and running and have a lot of pleadings ready to go. And of course, once you know your deadline or your dates in your administration, you can go ahead and go to our deadline calculator. It will take all of the starting dates and the measurements from those, and you can start setting deadlines in your case, which will be listed here on your case dashboard and at the bottom of your open matter dashboard. Those are some great places to start. Anytime you have questions, please feel free to reach out through contact@estateassist.app.